Okay. Welcome back everyone to another episode of Ty and Gig Builds. Today we're going to go over how to read analog inputs into the Raspberry Pi. Now it's important for you to understand this because if you're going to deal with the Raspberry Pi and hardware in any form, you're most likely going to deal with this circumstance. Analog inputs are very common, and if you want to control hardware and read inputs from hardware, it's important to understand how to get those values into the Raspberry Pi and read them correctly. So today we're going to go over just that. That's what I got. If you had an Arduino, this is actually already built in for you, but since we have a Raspberry Pi and it's basically a computer, not a microcontroller, it doesn't have an analog input built in, so we're going to go over how to read analog inputs. In order to actually read analog inputs into a Raspberry Pi, you need an analog to digital converter. There are many articles and different types of ADCs you can use to get the result that you want. I'm going to go over this specific brand, the MCP3008, and how I set it up. I actually followed, I think, an article on this. I'll link that in the description below. Now, there are many applications that you could use with analog inputs, one of which is reading a photodiode. If you were to put your hand over a photodiode, it measures the light coming through, so it has a variable output which kind of tells the distance between something and the photodiode. This is important for proximity sensors, for example. It's used a lot in industry to tell how far a robot is from something. There's also potentiometer, which we're going to go over today, which kind of changes the voltage that's coming into the Raspberry Pi, and so we'll be able to read the fractional differences in voltage. If we didn't have this ADC, we would just be reading 0 or 1, which is kind of defeating the purpose of some of these devices and circuits. All right, what we have here is a very simple circuit. We just have a 5-volt power supply feeding a potentiometer, and the result of this output is fed through this ADC, which is just the analog to digital converter. It's the MCP3008. And the output of this goes to the Raspberry Pi. Now I have a very simple program set up where if the potentiometer reads a certain value, the LED here lights up. Okay, so for example, on this potentiometer, when I twist it after a certain threshold, the light will turn on. And if I keep twisting, it'll stay on, but if I twist and it goes under the threshold, it will turn off. Okay, so just like I said, there will be a circuit diagram I'll provide, and the diagram will be provided in the description along with the article that I am following. The MCP3008 is a perfect ADC for the Raspberry Pi, and we're going to go over installing a library on the Pi right now and communicating with that right now. So the MCP3008 uses SPI to communicate with the Raspberry Pi. Basically, it's a form of communication that Raspberry Pi needs to communicate with the MCP3008, and not only that, but other types of devices. And so we're going to use the default pin configuration for SPI for the Raspberry Pi, which is MOSI, MISO, and clock. Those pins will be listed in the circuit diagram. On top of this, we're also using GPIO pin 17 to turn on and off the LED based on the threshold. So the first thing that we'll want to do is download the program to a repository. The program is just a sample program that I created. It's very simple. You don't necessarily need to download this to use the MCP3008, but it is an example you can follow. So if we go to scripts folder and then we go and git clone the repository. Great. So the repository is there, and we'll change the directory to the repository, which is pi read analog. And you'll see there is one file that we'll use. It's called potentiometer.py, and this is because it's following the potentiometer example in the article. Now, before we can actually get started doing this, we need to install the library. And I'm just running the command to install the MCP3008 library. It's from Adafruit, and it allows you to communicate with the MCP3008 based on the SPI pins. So, as you can see, it installed successfully. And so the next thing that we'll need to do is confirm that SPI is enabled for this device. So that we'll have to sudo vi boot config, and you'll see that it's actually disabled here. And to enable it, we'll just remove that comment. So you'll see dt param equals SPI equals on. That means that it's enabled. And to make sure that works, we'll just do a reboot. Great, so after reboot, if we go to the directory, pi read analog, listed out. You'll see the potentiometers there, and we should be able to successfully run the program. So let's try it out. So sudo python 3 potentiometer, and the program is running. You can see it's reading the voltages and the values from the potentiometer. As you can see, if I turn the dial up, the voltage also goes up, and as I turn the dial down, the voltage goes down. Let's kill this. And if you take a look at the program, okay, and as you can see in the code here, we're basically just initializing this MCP object, which is this MCP3008 from the Adafruit library, and it's just setting the pins according to the SPI pins we use on board, and also setting the channel input, which is just the potentiometer input that's coming in at the D5 input. Now, after setting up the MCP code, we're setting up this GPI code to turn on and off the LED. Now, from this while loop, you can see all we're doing is reading the voltage from this channel input, which is the MCP, and base threshold of voltage, we're turning on and off the LED. So basically, if we read over 2 volts, we're turning the LED on, and if it's below 2 volts, we're turning it off. It's a pretty basic example, but it does get you started on reading analog inputs, and it will be good to reference this moving forward. Alright everyone, that wraps it up for this build. I hope you enjoyed. It's a very simple idea, but it's very, very important. You should really get a grasp on it if you're going to do anything with Raspberry Pis and hardware. We're actually using this principle in another build, probably about 3 weeks from now, I think we're releasing the video, and it's going to be using proximity sensors. It'll be very, very interesting. I hope you take a peek at that when it's out. If you like what you saw, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing. We make similar videos, so check those out if you're interested. Next week we got a woodworking one, the week after we got a tech one. Until next time. Where's the thumbs up? There it is.